we're going to have reworks.
And where are the
It was
receptions
actually-
coming?
You know, actually, it was funny. Yesterday, I went home and I wanted to just play a couple quick games before bed. I am a big fan of like auto battlers just beforehand because they're peaceful. And I clicked on Artifact, and it said 100 players on your friends list have played this, but only one has played in the last 2 weeks, and it was Sir Action Slacks.
Of course.
He was holding game.
He's holding
in a game.
Holding on the fort.
He's keen. He's always keen.
Yeah, he loves the game. I actually really enjoyed it as well. Just, you know, shit happens, right?
Off flat, yeah.
Bit of a rough start, but we can have redemption arcs, which is what T-Gov's looking for with this one.
Yeah, we're clinging on to that story. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you down on this because you're gonna have to explain this time around in more detail why you're gonna go for the pick you're gonna go for.
Oh, more? Oh,
yeah. I'm
All
expecting more from you because
Well,
we were so
am I
against
factoring player performance as well? Because I'm
now you've got a game
performance, mate. It was just the draft.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
what
I
you're
know.
scrambling for.
Scrambling here. I'm scrambling.
Oh,
you put me
good.
into a corner. I'm just kind of like wildly swinging right now. You know?
Just to reiterate, you can't pick two cores in the current patch that do the same thing, right? We see Lycan took a small nerf, but there's a reason DP actually made it through this round. I expect he'll be opened with because AA is banned, but these heroes like Death Prophet are so good because they then synergize with effectively any safe laner you want to pick. You need structure damage. You need some sort of utility. You cannot just be a one-dimensional, like Ursa Jug both just do this. They look at one guy and they go after him, and that just doesn't succeed long-term. You're going to have to take team fights. If you want an easy tip, Banks, to determine who's going to win, just imagine both teams are just kind of stacked up like a child would, his action figures, and they just run at each other. And if it feels like one team would win that 9 times out of 10, that team's going to win the game.
Wall of Death. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just
So why didn't you go for that the first time round?
because there's a bear.
You had faith in Eurus, yeah.
Yeah, I had faith in Vici, but
it didn't work
gone,
out.
You know, that's gone. My faith in that team's been beaten out of me by you two, so.
So you're going to flip no matter what happens.
Yeah,
That's okay.
So we've broken him basically.
Yeah,
so
pretty
that
much, yeah.
we can convince him to pick the team that isn't going to win each time.
My prediction's gone now. So if whatever Kyle says,
Job's done.
Kyle, you go PSG. Oh, PSG's great.
To be fair, there's a lot of people on Wall Street bets that also have some misplaced faith in a bear market, but we'll see how that pans out for them as the weeks go on. Chen Ember, straight up countering the Void Spirit in the lane and throughout the game. You land the chains, he's no longer able to utilize all those escape mechanisms, and Chen probably one of the best heroes in Dota history, just absolutely insane. I still feel like Death Prophet just could come in for either side. I don't think it's become as popular in China, but in Europe specifically, it's a huge priority.
Yeah, I think later on in the draft, obviously we're not going to be seeing it. I don't think first phasing it because you kind of reveal way too much here. But of course, both teams can utilize it quite cleanly.
And in terms of what you're expecting, right? Will there be any way where they look at maybe getting the same or getting a hard counter in or something like that?
Well, they're seeing a Chen right now, so it's in this like early aggression. You've already picked Void Spirit, so I think just a solid support pickup is kind of what they're looking for. Don't need to reveal too much.
Yeah, can't reveal too much is what he means.
Yeah.
As in there's nothing there, not as if it's a secret. Just want to clarify for the viewers who might not understand.
Thank you.
No worries.
And how much do you have, like, in Vici's side of things, right, to be able to rethink this and plan out for the next game? Have they already planned all the matches in advance? Are we looking at the coach at this point to have said, okay, this is where we messed up, this is what we need to do now?
I'd say you can see from their bans, though, that they kind of gave PSG this Chen. Like, in the series that they won previously, they used Chen in both their wins to get to this final. So Vici aren't surprised by this in any way, that they're instantly going to snap it up when they get given it, and you can see there's the Wyvern pick. The support that can also deal with this, nice little D push, solid support pick.
It's just such a strange sequence of events. They pick Wyvern, then immediately ban Lifestealer.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I understand, you know, you can ult the Ember, set up kills for him, but I love Ember against Wyvern. High reach, high magic damage, you just jump on top of.
You're currently looking at the support as like you're dealing with the Chen situation and that push potential, but it does nothing to the Ember.
It takes time too. You can still get dove, and more importantly, you never are able to offensively go for structures with this Wyvern.
No, it's all about just keeping the game just like prolonging. You keep them waves pushed out. You're waiting for a timing. You're always maybe catching the guy off guard, pushing in, but for sure, it's literally trying to deal with the concept of the push route. But again, this Ember, the fact that they're picking it into it, doesn't look nice.
I wouldn't be surprised to see another Phoenix from PSG.LGD. I think.
Yeah, if it wasn't banned.
Rasta as well.
Yeah, if it wasn't banned.
Oh, good. I see.
Thank you. Oh, I was testing you. I was testing you, by the way.
That is not expected.
The FY Windrunner. We saw that in Game 2 against eHome. It demolished them. It was actually disgusting to watch.
What does he itemize to start with? Does he get a Blightstone and just smack people, or what?
I believe the starting line was like, yeah, I think it was the Blightstone, but I can't remember, not gonna lie. It has been many games since then.
It's just such a sick support duo. The problem with Wyvern is that in the laning phase, you're so weak. You spam your W, that's about it. You have 41 base damage, and you're just kind of useless.
Also, it's a lot of this poke damage, right? Think of this Ember. You play off your ult, you get in there, you chain someone. Now Windrunner, power shot from a distance.
It's
There's so much. If it supports that position,
the other support's a Chen. So already, PSG.LGD have a massive advantage in the laning phase, and we only see 2 heroes on the side of Vici. They're going to have to try and close that gap somehow, but I'm not sure what you would do it with, because all the traditional 4s that synergize well with Wyvern, Nyx Assassin, Earth Spirit, there it is. I don't like it at all against Chen Windranger, because now you have 2 supports that are very weak, and you're susceptible to PSG.LGD just once again taking a laning phase advantage, killing your structures, and throttling the map.
So it seems like PSG again are just one step ahead.
I think they're drafting, PSG are drafting for themselves and the style that they want to execute, whilst Vici Gaming, they're just like, oh, we picked this Wyvern 2 with Chen, but now we have to somehow make our draft look good, so now we have to go for the combo of, that they're not reacting, but they're both following their own scripts, but the PSG script looks a lot nicer to look at now.
I'm a little, because I've never worked with banks before, and I feel like I'm demonstrating, this is setting expectations way too high, because so far, so good, but PSG.LGD, they just, as you said, they are really just a step ahead, and I'm surprised Vici, it feels like they're setting traps for themselves and then walking into them.
Yeah. And
right now, you look at this Centaur, like, what in the hell do you put in the safe lane that has a prayer? And a Darkseer into Ember?
Carl, your face is priceless during this.
Like, the fact that it's the second pick, it's Chen Ember, and then Vici Gaming, to react to this Ember, they've gone for no, like, they've got obviously maybe the Nyx to some degree, but there's no, like, they've not actually answered this Ember in any way. Yeah, exactly. They've not answered the Ember with lockdown, any burst damage, nothing. Like, even if you do get that carapace stun onto the Ember, he's just going to get away. Like,
you need a magical last pick hero, but the problem is you don't even have that cheese potential, because it's Vici that are going to be forced to pick first. And I just don't see what salvages their draft. They need some kind of cheese. I could see a Huskar come out, but even that is a bit risky under the circumstances. I'd prefer them to get another core that can utilize the Ion Shell Surge, perhaps a Troll. But in the laning phase against Centaur Windranger, that's
the
miserable.
thing, right? Yeah, it's the fact that even though you talk about what's their win condition, how they're going to get this game, it's the fact you're playing up against a Centaur Windrunner lane, where Centaur, absolute beefcake, and then you've got Windrunner just poking from behind non-stop. It's such a scary lane to be in. And Wyvern, such a weak laner. Level 1, you play off.
It's so bad.
Like Arctic Burn, maybe, you go for it, but it's so weak.
You got to W spam, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's like, it's so awkward. Like, level 3, level 4, maybe, and even with that early rotation, you still don't have, like, this double support has no kill potential.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You could have a 3-on-2 lane up top. You're still going to lose. Nyx Assassin is arguably the worst laning 4 in Dota. It used to be a little different when the patch was different, in the sense that you would just send him off lane. He'd have so much regen, like 7 mangoes. He would just tank hits, but the game's changed a bit since then. And also, it was one of the slower 4 positions in synergy with the Darkseer, whereas a hero like Spirit Breaker, like Earth Spirit, can get offensive much earlier on with an Ion Shell. Nyx needs more time, preferably level 6 as well.
I think Vici, though, they have 2 options right now, which is one, go for a melee core that can utilize the Surge, the Phase Boots, get that tempo, run at them. Of course, PSG, they've got this poke, but if you have this overwhelming collapse, if Vici can somehow, the Voice Spirit has a good lane, they've got that melee core that has that early damage. Sure, your supports don't have damage, but they can maybe have that setup and control to enable the Voice Spirit +1, utilize that Darkseer. I think maybe they can do it. Or the other option is they just go for like a casual Medusa, hope that the game doesn't go wrong, and they just hold on. But that sounds horrendous too. Like
you need offensive. You need something that can get stuff done.
I prefer the melee
option. Tower damage too.
I feel like we're spending a whole lot of time being negative on Vici again here. They're not.
Well, they're outdrafted right now. They need to. They are trying to find that perfect pick.
Now that my thoughts are clear.
You've seen the light after game 1.
Okay, there's the melee core. Yeah, they needed a way to play with the Darkseer. Sven, yep,
It's just so slow is the concern. And you've got an opportunity now as a PSG.LGD to just take towers.
Of course, 100%. It's the same. It's literally the same story as the first game to some degree conceptually. The fact that PSG, they can play the map so much easier. They have that aggression.
What if they just went Dusa? I know there's a Nyx on the enemy side, but you've got a lot of options. Just any kind of range carry here, right? A Death Prophet even could work.
They need a way, I think, to take those early towers, force to Sven into like the back side of the map, and then now you've got all these heroes that kind of don't really do anything. They want to watch their Sven farm, and that's when this windrun of this Ember, this constant approach, this damage from a distance will really come online. So,
Juice, you don't really want OD or Necro because you're playing into Nyx, but again, you could just potentially ignore that because in theory you're going to be ahead from jump.
Lone Druid.
Lone Druid, perfect. I like that the best, actually.
End the game.
Formidable, incredible in lane against Darkseer Nyx. You cannot pressure this hero at all. And you hit a tempo just much faster. Your Mask of Madness comes online, and you can get shit done with it, whereas Sven is just going to look to farm. I, once again, think PSG.LGD have dominated the draft.
Yeah.
You have more of a win condition here on Vici, because if your Sven gets hyper-farmed, then one big vac into a stun, everybody dies. But I look at this LG lineup, I'm just like, you're going to win your lanes, you're going to take towers, and it's just easier to play the game.
I think the main thing is like Vici's lineup, when you look at it, if you can ignore PSG, it's like, this is a nice looking draft. Like it has its way to play the game, sure. But then you look at PSG and it's like they have this high mobility, strong laning phase, the way to end the game, the pressure. I think PSG are going to be able to easily close out these early towers, force to Sven into a corner. Darts is going to be, we're going to see like the EG game yesterday where Darts is going to be like 4K net worth potentially. It's going to be very awkward. So I think, PSG,
you need a lot of things to go right. Darkseer has to go for a more offensive item build. If he does something weird like rush pipe, rush mech, I actually think they're screwed. Hey, I want him to get an HOD ASAP and apply pressure. He has to just live in this off lane.
I guess the saving grace though is if Vici Gaming can get across this hurdle of PSG aggression, the Sven does blow up the Ember. He can eat through. He can't, but I'm not saying it's. I'm just reasoning, you know. Like
you're giving a lot of fans false hope. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, but they need it. That's what they're gonna. They're not gonna. Oh well, Vici's lost. All right, let's turn off the stream.
All right, I'm gonna kick things off because we're ready to get into the game. I'm sticking with
PSG.
PSG all the way because it makes sense. You guys have spoken a lot of sense. Are you learning from your lesson here?
Yeah. Agree with Kyle.
Don't really want to. Do you want to just take Vici again? You know?
No, not at all.
Okay, there we go. I'll give you the option, mate.
Stop.
You know.
Do you want me to be in the host desk again to see?
Yeah, come on, we'll just swap back over. Kyle, you're obviously going with PSG, right?
Yeah. This is a breeze.
Done there, he's just relaxing, he's chilling.
Flexing.
PSG all the way from us, but let's see what our wonderful commentators have to say, because could we be looking at a quick 2-0 happening here? Let's get it on.
Well, it's looking pretty good for LGD. At least that's what our panel seems to think. Lacoste, do you echo what they're saying?
I think they're going too hard on Vici Gaming. They're still a strong team, even though LGD looked better in these past few games. They still have a Vombo combo, Wyvern to set things up. You have Sven with the Darkseer, one of the old school combos, and I think Nyx Assassin is the key here, how much he can accomplish once he hits level 6. Here it comes.
Oh, immediately starting out with Old 11 getting jumped upon right now, and is they going to bring him down? I mean, they are. They are. That is just a dead Centaur. Centaur steaks for breakfast all around on the side of Vici Gaming. Meanwhile, Yang running himself away from Chalice down at bottom. You're going to throw him a couple of harassments here. But, I mean, you got to admit, like, the lanes look quite good for LGD, though, right?
LGD on the bottom lane, Chalice should not have any trouble with the bear. You can't really pressure this hero. Good start for them. Arctic Burn on Wyvern, only 41 damage, so he's not that great of a laner. Also wants to use the Splinter Blast. One of the biggest things about this hero is that he can defend the towers. He can hide, especially the tier 1s, the top tier 1, where he hides in the trees, has that Arctic Burn if he feels threatened. But the LGD's lineup looking much more solid to me. They have this long-range initiation with the chains into Power Shot. We saw FY play a Wind Ranger a few days ago where he dominated. He had MKB, I think, 16 or 17 minutes in on position 4, which was pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I look for in Vici, as you mentioned, you know, this team fight, the potential for a turnaround is massive. And I think when I look towards this Wyvern as well, I think there's a pretty good chance that you can just murder Chalice with his own bear, which sounds tragic, but pretty damn good for Vici Gaming. And I see a lot of these little things they've got going on in their draft. Sven against heroes, which don't necessarily have very high armor as well. Always, again, if he can get himself online, he is going to be a problem, but getting himself online is definitely going to be a challenge, especially as we start up with its top lane, and he is getting bullied pretty severely. Only one deny so far, but you know, it's only the first wave. I'll cut him some slack.
I mean, Ranger has position 4. I think we're gonna see much more of this hero. I received a couple of buffs and kind of fits this meta. Also, most of the time it's 2-1-2 lanes, and this is where she shines. Look at the harassment. Like, DY on Wyvern can't do shit.
he's getting pretty severely bullied by FY. FY completely dominating him right now. Stun being used to secure the range creep from the Sven there. Probably worth it, but doesn't look great so far up in this top lane. Meanwhile, down at bottom, we've got the Darkseer getting pretty low and having to pop a salve as he runs away from Chalice and Xnova. PYW just going to try and do some creep things. That's what he wants. Mess up the creep wave a bit. Throw some caution out to the wind and see if they can disrupt this lane enough to allow the Darkseer to just get his feet wet and get him some items and hopefully get him a half-decent lane. But, you know, Druid absolutely loves CSing under tower. You know, he's not going to miss anything under that tower. So that's always something you've got to consider if you're on the side of Vici Gaming. Meanwhile, Ori in the mid lane off to a really good start versus Ember Spirit, though. Absolutely a huge advantage over the first few waves. Meanwhile, Korea dies at bottom. PYW, though, not going to be trading his life for this one. I mean, you've got a Chen and a Druid lane, so as we mentioned, it's a good lane, but the kill potential is almost non-existent.
They do not want to get the kills on the bottom lane. What they want to do is secure Lone Druid's farm, get him to Mask of Madness, and Chen is just doing his job, harassing a little bit. Yang, of course, will get the farm on this Darkseer. There's no way Chen's going to stop that. Chen a bit under-leveled at the moment, only level 1. Let's see if they can get some procs en route.
Oh yeah, they're coming in to chase this one. Stun comes through on Chalice though, but they're just denying all the creeps whilst they're doing this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yang turns around with a punch, but, well, they are losing creeps, and they might be losing some mirrors here if they can find themselves a route, but no, will not be the case. The Spike Carapace comes out. Yang still just going for a little bit of a jog around the Radiant side of the map.
And look what Chalice is doing. He's chasing for a kill, while Xnova is dragging the creep wave so they don't lose any CS, also dragging the creep wave onto the neutral camp.
Yep, maximizing your farm. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Somnus and Ori trading hits pretty heavily here as they both drop themselves down to below half HP. But Somnus, once he's got that flame guard up, feeling pretty confident to fight up into Ori, but knows when it's down, he's got to play a little bit more carefully. Sal's popped, Assassin TPing into mid, but this isn't really an attempt here. This is just PYW shoving his face into the lane, refilling that bottle, and making sure Ori has a lovely time. And they're going to make sure they secure both active runes at the same time. And, oh look, an arcane rune.
PYW just won the lane on mid by TPing to mid, refilling the bottle, also going for that rune check. So that's a purple Void Spirit with a purple rune, forcing Somnus to go back.
Color-coordinated rune picking up is often the best kind, I've heard. But yeah, this is Ember, as you say, he's walked all the way back to base, and yes, this is just, yeah, Ori's happy. Oh, thank you, Chen, though. He's trying to copy the next assassin. He's like, you know, I can help my guy out too, but not quite as overwhelming as immediately Ori starts throwing spells to Somnus' way, but I feel like he's just trying to disrupt him more than anything. Not much kill attempts happening so far in this game. We've only had 1 kill from Vici Gaming so far, and that was...
Problem is they don't have a hero who can help Ember Spirit on a mid in this bad situation he's in right now. Once Void Spirit hits level 6, he should get a kill on him. Ember Spirit only level 4. He might get a level 6 on this wave. Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, but now we can start seeing some aggression, perhaps, but there's huge outleveling from Ori, just really piling the pressure onto Somnus. Massive difference for you. So look at this, he's coming under tower. Creeps, tower, doesn't matter, he's still going for this one. Unfortunately, the Ethereum will not connect, and a power shot comes through from FY. The bottle is out, but the Sleight of Fist finds him. Beautifully done from the Wind Ranger. Just one spell is all it took to turn that one around and find themselves that kill onto that very, very ambitious Void Spirit. Lovely, lovely stuff there from FY.
Very nice read from FY. He went mid, exactly knew what's going to happen. Somnus was pretty much like, guys, I need any kind of help. Please do something. He's about to hit level 6. You have that kind of feeling. You can't see the number, but you know how much CS he got and how many denies he got from that lane. You were also forced to run back to the base and TP back, which means he's getting the free lane for himself. And pretty much the same build on Centaur as we've seen on Vici Gaming's side in the previous game. Centaur just dominating the lane, Ring of Protection for some extra armor, and going for that Vanguard. Cost reduced by 200, which is a pretty big deal. You can upgrade that Crimson Guard later on, which should be extremely effective. Yang. Oh, where's the root?
Down in the bottom lane. The bear do be chasing, but Yang manages to get himself back. He gets the TP to base, so Lone Druid unable to secure himself a kill there. Well, and how is this bottom lane doing, though? We have a Lone Druid at 36 and 15 compared to, oh dear, 20 and 0 on the Darkseer.
Yeah, when you say 20-0, that sounds good if it's score, but in terms of CS and denies, it doesn't sound that great.
He wishes it was score, but no, he hasn't gotten much from this lane, poor old Yang. He's playing Poverty Darkseer a little bit here. Meanwhile, FY stand out onto DY. The battle of the Ys right now, and, well, just going to try and trade a little bit. The moment that Arctic Burn is popped, FY is just like, see ya! Popping that Wind Run. Making him waste his spells as Ori shows his face up top, immediately runs back to mid.
There are a couple of stacks in jungle for Sven. Right now he's still doing an okay job in the laning stage. Will get pressured more. Massive Madness is completed, no boots.
Yeah, I don't think this has gone horrendously for Vici. It's not gone well, but it's gone better than it could have, I think we should say.
I think he needs to go to jungle right away and leave
Meanwhile,
DY
Chalice down
on
the
the top
bottom lane,
lane, 2 points and Splinter Blast.
W loses his life, and it looks like Chalice might be heading the same way as well, running away and not able to finish the job. Actually, Stampede saves his life, so Lone Druid living for now, but it was awfully close. Ori with the rotation. Unable to find anything for it, though, and they do lose their next assassin in this, so a bit of time wasted from Vici Gaming. A little bit more space gained from the Ember Spirit to come back into this one, as he's now actually overtaken the Void Spirit on CS, but Void Spirit's still ahead on net worth, but by narrowest of margins, only 1 CS, basically, so they're just going to come back into mid and continue putting on the pressure. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, DY getting right-clicked up. I hear a God's Strength, but I don't see it for now, as DY is going to get finished up, and that is going to be that. I think the Sven's just jungling with that God's Strength, not looking to help out his teammate at all, and that is just one dead Winter Wyvern. PYW, not as easy a target, but will be able to defend this lane by himself.
2 supports on Vici can't do much before they hit level 6, and
yeah.
LGD, they will build all the advantage in the world. They already took the tier 1 tower on the top lane. This is where Wyvern should be. Try to keep it as healthy as possible with the Splitter Blast, but they lost the top lane as well. Sven will just keep farming the jungle. They need to buy the Tome 10-minute mark, give it to next assassin, try to make a move with the Darkseer, and he should play with the Void Spirit. Sven will just continue to jungle, farm up. DY needs to be in the lane for himself, get the XP to get himself to level 6, because this is how they start a combo.
Yeah, it's hard when you just died at top to return to the site where you previously perished, but at the same time I completely agree. I mean, they need these ultimates, you know, Vici Gaming. They might find things slipping out of their grasp pretty quickly without them. Meanwhile, Somnus with the Invis Rune in the middle lane, given some vision here as X-Nova and FY looking to maybe rotate in. A Remnant comes down, chains are out onto 2 as well. Yang's making his way over. There's a little bit of engagement happening here, but again, I feel like kind of just trading some hits here. Stun's been thrown out.
Shackle.
Oh, beautiful shackle though. PYW, big hold embrace. It's not going to do anything for him here. They've got the magic damage, but Ori just comes flying on in. Doesn't have much health. Doesn't feel like it needs it. X-Nova running out of HP. Stun's going to come through and finish the job there as Zeros finds himself a cheeky little kill. Ori though in some trouble. Another power shot. Finds a kill onto Ori. Void Spirit down. Not a worthwhile trade at all. It's Chen for a Void. That is not good maths. And now old 11. He's just getting run down by the Iron Shells right now, but the backlines maybe coming straight back in, trying to get the kills, but they're going to turn around. With the strength with the stuns layered up as well. Maybe he's running out of HP, but he's running forwards aggressively onto the counter target. Brings down the Wyvern, and he's not done. Coming back in again, PYW running out of HP as he's rooted up and taken down. Odd 11 not afraid to be on the front lines with this low HP because he knows there's nothing more Vici can do. Yang's going to leave his life behind as the Chalice just runs through them. Somnus now finds Urus, or as Urus finds Somnus, I'm not too sure. Maybe has taken off a little bit more he could chew and will get cut through by the Astral Step, but he trades for Urus again. Chalice finds another kill. He's doing so much work on this Druid. This is a pleasure to see. LGD with a new iteration with Chalice on the carry, and they tear it up in the middle lane. Absolutely great stuff from them.
Very nice rotation from Chalice. He took the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane, understand that he can easily join a fight. This Spirit Bear doing a lot of damage with the Mask of Madness at the moment, and that Haste Rune pickup changed things a lot. Also, you can see the difference between position 4 and 5s on these teams where Wyvern can't do jack shit until he hits level 6. Same goes for Nyx Assassin. He was close to locking down the Ember Spirit, but the lack of levels was an issue in that fight. And suddenly we're at 6k network lead for LGD 11 minutes in. Like these two supports, they can't make any rotations. Swen just wants to farm, going for this all-in build, which I like. Mask of Madness into Chrysalis. Chrysalis still one of the better items in this patch, even after the recent changes.
Yeah, kind of crazy. You can take 10 damage away from an item, and it's still one of the better items in the patch. Kind of shows how mental it was before. But yeah, I mean, the laning phase is going okay.
Some heroes, like if you compare the old one where you had the less crit, now having more crit on hero like Sven is much better.
Now though, things looking
what I'm saying
really
is more crit is better than less crit.
Solid analysis, Elikos. Thank you. Hit hard, good. Meanwhile, Yang, he's going to try and surge himself away, but a shock shot comes through along with a root power shot chained up, blasted down with focus power as well, but it's actually not enough. He lives, and now Ori comes flying on through. FY caught out and brought down. It looks like Chalice, he's in some trouble. Godfriend popped by Euros. Do they have the damage? No, because the roll comes out. They need to come and find this kill immediately, but the Stampede's being used as well. So much thrown. Run, little bear, run, and he's actually going to make himself away. Meanwhile, Ori, stun comes out on 3 from Euros, but it looks like Ori's going to lose his life. PYW heading the same way as well as LGD. They turn up and they are slapping VG Gaming on the bottom, telling them they are naughty, naughty boys. Urus trying to run himself up into the high ground, but if he gets rooted here, that is going to be it. But thankfully, there's a Wyvern coming on over. Still no 6 on this Wyvern, 13 minutes into the game, and actually with the chains coming out, they might not be done here. DY might just straight up die. Stun comes out from the Sven, helping him out a little bit here, but with the Wyvern running to the trees, now that Arctic Burn ends, he's going to sit inside the cold embrace, but put to an end by the axe of the Centaur. Oh, dearie me. Vici Gaming, it almost looked great. It almost looked like they found something. A kill onto Chalice would have been amazing, but unfortunately, he just sprints himself out of there. First fearing them away, then having the Stampede to help him out as well. Everything being used to keep Chalice alive. LGD do so successfully and turn it into another great fight for them, and things are starting to get really, really worrying now for Vici Gaming.
2 saving abilities on LGD, Hand of God plus Stampede will keep them alive. Like, they're relying on, like, if you see Void Spirit that he plays with Nyx Assassin, even with Iron Shell, this Hand of God will keep people alive. I'm talking about the cores. Supports might die.
Yeah. Supports might die, but it's a sacrifice we're willing to make. We want PYW with the Spike Carapace in his own jungle. Gonna, well, still perish. And Courier as well. Not the Courier. It's just getting rude now. You've already killed the guy. Yule's picked up from Ori, but goodness me, that tower is no longer in the realm of existence. Absolutely demolishing the tier 2.
Still level 5, about to hit level 6 after this wave. Woo. God, this is awful. Like, Hand of God, keep them alive.
Truly bad as FY is taking such a long time to kill him, and he's going to get the shackle again here. How does he keep on finding them? Ori in some trouble. The stun focus fire damage is there, and they'll get both of these kills. Vici Gaming, every time they try, they just fall again and again. They can't get over the first hurdle of this game, and if they can't clear it soon, then they're just going to end up with broken ankles. That's how hurdling works, right?
Yes. Seems like they're going to pick up 4 bounty runes for themselves. Nyx Assassin on a scouting mission. they need to have 1 point in Vol. Wyvern just hit level 6, so they need to make stuff happen. Sven will finish his crit in 100 gold, but the items on LGD, they're coming together. You have this Crimson Guard Blink Dagger on a Centaur, Mech on Chen, Windranger, she's becoming a core in less than 1.5k gold. She will have full MKB, and Deso finished on Lone Druid, so they can easily go to Roche Pit.
Easily. Yeah, this is quickly getting out of hand here. The Wind is just so farmed. I mean, they've done this before, though. When the last time they run the Wind, she did the exact same thing. So clearly, this is a common thing for LGD, and they just say, in this game, our Wind does not need items to perform her role as a 4 position, so we're just going to completely greed out, grab that Javelin early, use that Focus Fire, and, I mean, Javelin's so cheap that it makes a lot of sense, you know? She can be the support through the laning phase and then transition into a core later on, but Vici Gaming, they are not willing to let this Roshan go without a fight. They have the ultimate on the Winter Wyvern. Can they punish? They need to get a really good curse here, and LGD immediately sensing something wrong. They're keeping their distance. They're going to immediately get the jump on a DY. He can't die like this, but it's already over, and he doesn't have buyback to come back into this one. Urus and Yang don't know what to do with themselves. Stampede being used to get the distance onto the Sven here. Sven now running himself away, surged up, gets to safety, but unfortunately, Ori trying to lead them in a different direction. Pretty tasty. Is he actually going to get out of this one? I think he very well might. Meanwhile, PYW might at least pay his life, but no, he gets himself away as well. And all this has bought time for the Wyvern to respawn. Meanwhile, Somnus still looking for Yang. Vici Gaming, they finally got their shoes tied, and they are running LGD in circles here, and Yang's actually going to be able to get out of this one. Alright, Roche disrupted, but not for long. They're straight back into this pit. They do not have the outpost either, so no TP point for the Wyvern. This might still go their way anyway. Vici Gaming, they have some fun, they play some games.
LGD killed the target that they need to kill, the Wyvern, and this is exactly what Kyle talked about on the panel, where you have this Ember Spirit who is having an extremely good time, goes on you, you just instantly die. I mean, you can blame it on positioning from Wyvern a little bit, but LGD, they understand where the threat comes from. This is how they start their combo.
This feels desperate from Vici Gaming as well. They're trying to look for a kill when there's no vision for them. There's plenty of vision for LGD. And now, Winter's Curse going to come down onto Somnus, but this is just to hold him still. This is now using non-stop with the backlines onto 3. Goodness gracious, all 11 finds the engagement. Somnus now just strolling on in, casually to this fight. Vici Gaming just feeling like they're being held still, beaten down, and 3 heroes dead. And that's it! That's it. They just call it. They just throw in the towel. See you later. Game number 3. I mean, this could be the quickest best of 5 series we've seen in a very long time if Vici Gaming can't get it together. My word. That was just